Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. Well, it's the sound of the season, the color of the season. Happy Mercoledi Moment as we begin this wonderful time of Advent preparation for Christmas. These 4 weeks for many Catholics are their favorite weeks in the whole year. These wonderful 4 weeks with the Advent wreaths that we light each week, with the candles of the wreath in purple and blue and pink, the wreaths and decorations that remind us that Christmas is coming and that the light is arriving and that these days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until the winter solstice, December 21st. All of this begins, and we have just started this great season of Advent when we sing, O come, Emmanuel. And I just would like to share on this Mercoledi Moment, on this Advent season, this time when I'm wearing this wonderful serum blue vestment as a sign that the night sky is getting darker and darker. I'd like to just share a couple thoughts that I think would be enriching to us. The first is that this is a season of music. And so as a result, I wrote that little Advent meditation book that some of you have on the songs of Advent. And I'm using it, and others I'm sure are. It's a wonderful way in which we can get into the words and to the music of the season, because somehow when Christ comes again, Christ already is coming within our hearts. Christ opens up and knocks at the door of our hearts. And there's no more beautiful way of doing that for Christ or for anyone to knock at the heart with music. They're playing our song, we say. This is our song, a song where music puts us in a moment of love, a moment when we can lay down our burdens and lay them all down, a music that tells us that the dragon doesn't live here anymore, a music that opens us up, the music that can calm the savage beasts, we say. I'll never forget in the seminary, I was the organist at the seminary, and I used to play this wonderful piece of Bach in the key of G. It was a wonderful air, like a dance. And I remember Monsignor Gaffigan, who was the head of the whole music for the Archdiocese of Albany. He was retired, and he lived in the seminary with us. And he and I became fast friends because he was an organist, and he showed me things and taught me things, and I played for him. And after Mass, he would oftentimes ask me to play this piece by Bach, by the air. It was the air in G. And I'll never forget one time, it was during the Advent season, and we had just read the beautiful readings about the lion will lay down the lamb, and the ox and the goat will eat together the hay, and all of these wonderful examples of communion in Christ and communion at God's coming. So I played this for him, and he used to breathe through his nose. He would go like this, Monsignor Gaffigan. And he said, Richard, he says, if people listen to that music, there would never be war again. If people listen to that music, there never would be war again. And Advent is a time for music. The Christmas songs are playing in our marketplaces, in our stores, on the radio, in our hearts. The Hallmark Channel has actually been playing Christmas movies since way back in October, or even in July, I can't remember. But music has the way of opening us. So I would invite you to listen to some music during this season, and to allow our hearts to be softened with the peace that comes from the Christ who is coming, Emmanuel who is coming. And a way to add that is in just a few days, our shrine is going to be hosting its musical event called Marian Christmas. So this coming Saturday, I believe it's at 7 p.m. it's the starting time, but you can go online and you can get a ticket, because I sang at that, and Josie and all kinds of people were making wonderful Advent Christmas music. So this coming Saturday, the 5th of December, I invite you to kind of sign up. It's a fundraiser for us. It's a way of helping us out so we can continue to make music live and in color here in this holy sanctuary. So I would ask you to consider. You can register. It's not too late to go online and register for this concert. I believe it's $75, and you can watch it all the whole month of December. Because music is the first thing that Advent brings. Music, when we listen to it with our hearts, is the music of the spheres, the music of heaven, the music of Christ who comes, who is the morning star. And then the second thing about Advent that really touches me is that it's a time when we sing that wonderful song. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And how perfect. I'm singing this and the bells in the steeple are ringing, because it's also like silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. See the kids bunch, hear the snow crunch. This is Santa's big scene. The second thing is Advent is the time when it's the most wonderful time of the year, because it's a time when we are beginning to feel, I would hope, even in COVID, the Christmas spirit. So I'm going to suggest that maybe as we begin the Advent season, we learn and decide and figure out ways in which we can not only feel the Christmas spirit, but actually share the Christmas spirit with someone. There's a lot of lonely people this time. We're getting this phase now, I know I'm getting it, where we're in routines and we keep repeating things over and over and over again. Like, and the days keep going fast because it seems like it's like, Groundhog's Day movie. It just keeps happening. And there's a lot of loneliness in that, and a lot of people feeling alienated and afraid because of that. But we live in the hope of a vaccine, certainly, that's been advertised and that's happening. But there's really a need to reach out to the Christ child that is alone and afraid and cold in a manger bed, in our relatives, in our friends, in our families, in our neighbors, in the homeless. And so I think Advent is this most wonderful time of the year when we can decide as Christian believers how we can pay attention to Christ born for us at this time, and reach out to Christ who is afraid and alone and suffering and in pain. Reach out to them so that we can make Christmas a beautiful time for us all. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same, but it's Advent. And yet through it all, the music and our open-heartedness to others, through it all, it is Christ who is born. It is Christ who comes alive. And as the days dwindle down darker and darker to the winter solstice on the 21st, as these days dwindle down, may our hearts grow brighter and brighter with the presence of Christ until Christmas dawns and the bells ring and the most wonderful time of the year happens, because our Emmanuel is with us, so that we then can, as the song sings, rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel, O Chicago, O Little Italy, into our homes. May we rejoice. Happy Advent, everyone. Happy Mercoledi Moment.